Hey guys, welcome to another free cam with Gino. I've just been watching last week of wrestling, trying to gather my thoughts, think about how I'm going to do this. This is going to be a recap of three different shows in one. We're going to be talking about the Worlds Collide, Raw, and Money in the Bank. Unless you want to live under a rock, I guess you know Naomi's now won Money in the Bank. Hold on, guys. Yeah, Naomi's won Money in the Bank for the women. Seth Rollins won Money in the Bank for men. That was kind of predictable. I don't know who else would have won that outside of LA Knight, but WWE seems to be afraid to pull the trigger on LA Knight. We had a massive injury today on Raw. I don't know if it's a storyline injury or if it's actually Lyria, but the way Liv landed and sold it, looks like she may have fucked up her shoulder again, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. And the match kind of ended abruptly. And also the fact that the special guest that was supposed to come out during that match didn't come out. Makes me believe it may have been more of a shoot than a work. And for those of you who don't know what I mean, shoot is real, work is storyline. I hate using the words. I know a lot of people like using them a lot. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about a massive star that was born at Worlds Collide. And an absolutely brilliant pay-per-view, maybe one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in a long time was Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. As you saw Money Collins' reaction, it was a very, very, very good show. Becky and Lyra might have had one of the matches of the year, in my personal opinion. Maybe in about a week or two, I might be doing my first part of the year, match of the years, which there's a few of them I've already could think of off the top of my head. John Cena and Cody Rhodes is definitely not one of them. That might be one of the worst matches of the year. And also, I'm not the biggest AEW fan, as you guys know. And also, Doggy Toddy's here for Mikey and everyone else that loves Toddy. There you go. Hey, Toddy here fans are looking for you. Every time I tell her we're doing the show, Toddy has to join in. She jumps right on my lap. Little camera hog here. Alrighty, Toddy. So, should we break down what happened on the pay-per-views? Bye, Tots. Also, in the words of Tony Khan, everybody, hey! It's an inside joke. If you know wrestling, you know Tony Khan's that guy's a big hugger and wants to be hugged. So, alright, guys, I'm gonna pull up first. We're gonna go for Worlds Collide because I can't remember the entire card off the top of my head. Uh, we do have new AAA Tag Team Champions, I will say that, and they are WWE. But like I was saying, we do have a new massive star. It's not somebody a lot of people would have thought of coming out of that pay-per-view. Um, we had the very first match of the night was Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and the Breakout Star. In my personal opinion, Mr. Iguana with Laesca, who was I guess you can see an upgraded version of Santino Morales Cobra. Laesca, for you that don't know, is a puppet that Mr. Iguana wrestles with, but he actually incorporates it in his match and actually comes to the ring with and uses it. And Taylor Swift kind of, yeah, it's like his version of the iguana. I mean, of the cobra, except he actually uses it to do actual moves and stuff with, and actually gets physically assaulted. And actually, we had Lindsay Dorado replacing Joaquin Wild in that match. And Cruz del Toro, my personal opinion, is one of the stars of that entire match outside of Mr. Iguana himself. And even coworkers that I have are not big wrestling fans. All they were talking about was Alaska and Mr. Iguana, and those are Latino. Who, of course, we're going to watch the show because Latinos are very, very proud people and very proud of their professional wrestling. But of course, the JW, the LWO, the what's called Blue World Order, we're going to call them the Job Squad, the Latino World Order. They lose the opening match, and I think that might have been the only match WWE actually lost from that entire World's Collide. Great match. Six guys went up, absolutely tore the house down. Might have been the match of the night if not for the main event here. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But great show by everybody. We actually even had a semi-feud lead into the Money in the Bank, adding a match to the Money in the Bank. Octagon Jr. and Dominic Mysterio. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But Octagon Jr. is going to be another match to look out for, guys. Oh, sorry, just a long couple of weeks here. Following that, we had Stephanie McCare and Lola Vice versus Chica Tormente and Dalise. It was an okay match. Lola got her ass kicked for the majority of that match. She was able to hit Stephanie McCare, and Stephanie McCare is a massive star. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. She's one of two people that pulled double duty in that pay per view in that day. Not even 3 or 4 hours apart, she wrestled twice. She is going to the moon and back. Kind of surprising she didn't win her qualifying match today, but it makes sense. She was also not the person that took the pin in that match. But yeah, she and full advice like double kisses. Sorry guys, she's a little tired. Not much to really write home in that match. Like I said, Lola got her butt kicked for a lot of it. Lola's getting so much better every match. She will be North American champion at some point, and then eventually called up to the main roster. Whatever you do WWE when baking, you do not put Lola Vice and Stephanie Vancouver as a tag team, Stephanie Vancouver, or as Nikki Bella calls her, Stephanie Backway. There's a lot of people giving Nikki shit for that, but who cares, man? Let it go. Yeah, decent match. Not really anything to write home about. I think probably the worst match on the entire card. Not even more up that. Probably quite possibly the worst match of the entire weekend. Um, Legado de Fantasma faced off again. Ooh, those of you who don't know, Santos Escobar, Angel, sorry, and Berto. Faced El Hijo, the Dr. Wenger Jr., Pango, and Seiko Clown. Very good match. Everyone forgets how good the Legado de Fantasma actually is. All three of those guys are extremely, extremely talented gentlemen. Garza and Berto are a very good tag team. I've been a Santos Escobar fan for a while. When he was in NXT, he was a cruiserweight champion down there for quite a bit of time. Legado de Fantasma really hasn't done much. So when WWE saying they're kind of the fattest people ever not really going to use or did anything with, maybe Legado Fantasma should have been let go before people like it, Dakota Kai and all that. Even though they said Dakota was just being let go because she was going to be job to everybody. That's pretty much all Legado does is job. They won this because I don't know why. Maybe they're more known than the three gentlemen they faced tag team match there. But overall nothing special. Great match. Really cool spots at certain points. Like I said, Virgil and Garza are very good together. Um, Santos is very good on his own. Sorry, guys, just a cheater. The other three guys were very impressive for the first time I've seen them in a while. I was kind of wishing to see the park, but we didn't get to the park, unfortunately. Um, this is also Rey Mysterio's home territory from when he grew up wrestling. So he came out with a nice little speech. The crowd was absolutely fire. I'm going to say that before I continue with anything else in the show. Absolutely brilliant show. Also forgot to mention, let's see when Rock there's a return that happened we're going to talk about a little bit later on this show here. He's not driving the bus though. Still, we get 2-1 WWE. Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, Ray Phoenix. I'm not going to do justice by talking about it. If we got about 15 minutes. Um, we have two matches on this card that are actually contenders for match of the year. It's this one and the main event. So I'm going to go. I like to do ratings. You guys know that. I'm going to give the first match about a silver plus. I'm going to give the second match a bronze. Just did nothing for me. The trios match is going to get a silver plus. This fatal four way is going to get a gold plus. Like I said, I'm not going to do any justice by talking about it. I can name off some of the moves that happened, but if you got 15 minutes out of your day, go check out Laredo Kid, Phoenix, Ethan Page, and Javon Evans. Ethan Page just plays the heel cycle just so well. The guy is so good. Even sad story about Ethan Page, I just found out from a cousin of mine. He actually worked with Ethan Page's sister, who had no idea her brother was a wrestler because she randomly saw him on TV one day. Interesting, right? Ethan Page, Canadian kid, of course. Then we had El Hijo de Vikingo versus Chad Gable, aka Grande Americano. There's actually a theory going around that a Grande has two people. One of them is Chad Gable, the other is Brutus Clay, or not Brutus, the other Creed, Julius. But the thing is, Julius is quite significantly taller than Gable. I think it's, to be honest with you guys, I actually think it is Tommaso Ciampa. That's why I thought it was weird me calling it that theory, and I'm gonna stay with it. Absolutely brilliant match. I know Vicky was not everyone's taste. I think the guy's incredibly good realistically. Fun guy to watch. Chad Gable, I absolutely adore. Everybody who knows me knows that. I think the guy is this generation's Kurt Angle. And if you don't know who Kurt Angle is, go back on YouTube and look up Kurt Angle. The guy was absolutely incredible, arguably one of the greatest five of all time. Um, like I said, I'm not going to do any justice by talking about these matches rather than give them ratings. They're both getting gold pluses. They're absolutely incredible. If you have about 30-ish minutes out of your day, actually 40-ish, sorry. Um, Go watch these matches back to back. Give me your thoughts in the comment. I thought they were absolutely incredible. The Kingo's a freak. Those four gentlemen I mentioned before, and the Fatal 4A match for the NXT North American Championship. Absolutely brilliant, 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 brilliant wrestling. In my personal opinion, Ray Phoenix is vastly underrated. WWE is not using him the way I thought they would. Javon Evans is going to be a massive star. Ethan Page is probably one of the best heels in wrestling. And this is one of the very first teams I've got to see Laredo Kid, and that guy is insane. That's all I'm going to say. Vikingo, I've seen wrestle a few times. He was awesome. Everyone knows I think about Gable. We'll leave it at that. And then we're going to go to Money in the Bank. And outside of the one thing that did not cooperate, which is Julia and Roxanne trying to squash Aria with a ladder, absolutely fucking fantastic. Also, I'm going to say you saw mine Collins' reaction where you're watching it live. Like I said, there are a few matches that could be contender for match of the year. As a gimmick match, this was an extremely good match. These girls went out there legitimately. Like Simon Miller, shout out to Simon Miller, who was over on the other side of the pond in England. Let's say they probably just talked backstage and said, "Okay, we're gonna kill each other today, right? I'm gonna see if anyone can top this." I don't think anyone on that show did. There's not very many shenanigans. Absolutely brilliant, well-told story. A lot of few teases, including even Stephanie and Julia and Roxanne getting to that ladder. I mean, getting to the briefcase. There's a really gnarly spot where Alexa drops stomach first onto the ladder. Stephanie Van Kerr hit a devil's kiss onto the ladder with Rhea. Rhea was buried and then resurrected like Jesus Christ herself. Um, they did a little bit of throwback to Julia and Roxanne teasing being a team, and Julia turned on Roxanne. Roxanne ate a nasty, nasty riptide through a ladder. Naomi did some really crazy moves off the ladder. I think Stephanie Van Kier is the MVP of the entire weekend. Stephanie alone is going to get gold. This match, like I said, gold plus plus. The right outcome, the right winner. And now once Naomi gets to beat Tiffy time, we'll see what this cycle Naomi can do, because this might be the best run of her career, excluding what she did in TNA. And to be honest with you, I didn't think that much of her TNA run. But this Naomi is absolutely incredible. When Jade wins King of the Ring and has to face Naomi, I can't wait for Bianca to be one to turn on Jade and we got through the whole time. Because if you guys haven't noticed, Jade hasn't interacted with Bianca. They haven't talked. They haven't looked at each other or anything. Jade just seems to be kind of put off by Bianca at the moment as well. So that's even more storytelling. I don't know if you guys are reading the tea leaves, but I sure am. Let me see what else happened on Money in the Bank, because I can't remember it all. It was a couple weeks ago. But LA was treated some special wrestling for 6 hours. They got a little bit of a break. I believe next was Dominic and Octagon 101. Um, yep, Dominic was 3 and Octagon 101. So, for three people that double duty that match this week. As Octagon was actually a wrestling in this match. He did a few really cool things, but it was short like it had to be. And Dominic Mysterio, of course, beat this role because he's the reigning champ. He had to look good. This is basically set up because Octagon is a diehard Rey Mysterio fan, and Dominic Mysterio is eating that deadbeat dad gimmick alive. It's absolutely brilliant. Dominic looked good. Octagon looked good as well in defeat. Short match, about 5 minutes. did the job it was supposed to do, gets the silver. Then we had arguably the match of the weekend. This was the last chance for Becky Lynch. Either she wins the Intercontinental title or Lyra Valkyria wins it and Becky never gets a chance. And if Lyra loses, she has to raise Becky's hand. And this was exactly what this match should have been. It was an all-out bloodfeud. These girls beat the ever-living crap out of each other. There wasn't anything too fancy in it. There's one gnarly spot where Lyra landed kind of weird at the very beginning. And it seemed to either hurt her arm or rock herself or who knows what, but the landing did not look good. Sorry guys if she knows. But these two girls have so much chemistry together, and they're teasing the whole time that Becky can't beat Lyra. Lyra's beat Becky twice, and yada yada, this and that, and everything else. A lot of nice near falls. Absolutely brilliant story told in the long run of this match. Yeah, if you got about 16-ish minutes, start to finish, including the finish, which saw Lyra do exactly what anyone would have done, push to the brink when they spoil it. But of course Becky wins. She cheats. I noticed right away Colin didn't. She grabbed the tights. So it was kind of sneaky, but not sneaky. And then the very next night, Bailey gets involved. So now we got Bailey versus Becky, and Lyra gets winner. But Becky is now your brand new Intercontinental Champion. I believe that makes her Grand Slam, if I'm not mistaken. Well, she doesn't have the United States title, but she has everything else. So Becky needs one more. Bailey needs two more. Which means, in my opinion, they're both better than Mercedes because she had none. Not she's short by three. No, she's short by two as well. Sorry, but they're both better than Charlotte because she only has two. Um, like I said, we have three contenders for match of the year, and we can even break it down a little bit later on when I do my exact that list there. I'm even gonna call on. Maybe we'll see if he wants to do this with me and pick his matches of the year so far, half of the year. Sorry, I should say. Um, Following that, we had, I believe it was Seth. Yep, it was the men's ladder match: Seth Rollins versus LA Knight versus El Grande Americano versus Chad Gable versus not Chad Gable versus Penta versus Solo Sikoa versus Andrade. And rest in peace to Andrade's nuts. We're going to start off first and foremost with that. I don't know if you guys saw, but there's an accidental ladder placement that was not supposed to happen, and also fuck WWE and their product endorsements. I don't know if you guys saw, but all over the ring on Money in the Bank, there was either Prime or 7-Eleven corner pads, or there was a boxing endorsement in the middle of the ring, or they had a brand new Fireball ladder, which got talked about quite a bit before it got brought out. I understand it's a machine now, and still fuck WWE and their stupid product endorsements. This is not the same WWE it once was. That's a story for a different day. But like I said, this is another absolutely brilliant match. I think it might be have gone a little bit longer than the women's. Yeah, about 5 minutes longer than the women's match. Very, very good. Great storytelling. A lot of few good teases where LA Knight, everyone thought LA Knight was going to get the belt, the briefcase, even Solo Sikoa. And then we finally had what was supposed to happen for a while, and they totally teased us for long enough. And everyone thought it was going to be Solo turning on Jacob, but Jacob turned on Solo first, turned face, right in front of everybody. Solo was climbing the ladder by himself. Excuse me, guys. Jacob grabbed his leg, stopped him, and said, "I hate you, Solo." Super kick, pop up moonsault, spinning Solo through the ladder, and Jacob Fatu is now face, and he's away from Solo. I believe Solo is probably either going to win the United States title from Jacob Fatu either Saturday Night Main Event or even SummerSlam, or maybe even in Saudi Arabia. Also, fuck CM Punk. Sorry, guys. He's such a goddamn hypocrite. The guy talks about how he's not ever going to go to a place that does what they do there and all this other shit, and all of a sudden sells out to get money so he can go fight John Cena. Oh, yeah. Forgot to mention in 2 weeks, John Cena, CM Punk, Saudi Arabia for the WWE Championship. Of course, John Cena is winning. CM Punk might have cut the promo of his career last week on SmackDown, but that's neither here nor there. The ladder match itself gets a gold. Absolutely incredible. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Seth Rollins is the second time he's won the ladder match. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. Perfectly played. LA Knight was good in the match. I thought Solo was the MVP of that match. Absolutely incredible. Like I said, rest in peace for Andrade's nuts. Um, that will probably not feel well. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If there's any guy who has testicles with reply to having a ladder falling 10 nuts from about 5 feet in the air, definitely not fun. Um, Penta was awesome. Everyone in that match was absolutely incredible. Penta even hit a destroyer onto, I believe it was LA Knight off the ladder or Andrade, one of the two of them, but they both died. Like I said, Pet Solo got the absolute ass kicking he should have got. There's a nice tease where LA Knight looked like he was gonna get the briefcase. He was stopped by Braun and Big Bronson Reed and stopped by Seth Rollins twice, and Seth Rollins gets the ladder. I mean the briefcase, and he's now the Money in the Bank. And we thought we would show catching in on Jade, but WWE made the right call. We'll talk about it when we get to that. And then we had champion versus champion with tag team partners, and for the last time it was champion versus champion. We'll talk about that again. Why on Monday? John Cena and Logan Paul. Fuck Logan Paul. That's all I'm gonna say there. Not even mention his name again. Versus you, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes. This match did exactly what it was supposed to do. Absolute good teasing, great callbacks, and start matches between all four of these guys. Logan Paul's a piece of shit. I'm not gonna mention anything good about that guy in the whole match. Just insult this motherfucker because he's a fucking human scumbag. I understand why WWE partners with him, but I still don't understand why, if that makes sense. Because fuck that motherfucker. Um, I'm gonna stop there because I was told by my parents I got nothing next to it. Somebody don't say nothing. Yeah, so that's that. Otherwise, great match. There's even a shock where you saw Colin's reaction, you saw mine, because as soon as I saw this man with a hood on and no facial shot come in and just start beating up John Cena, then I don't know if it was on purpose or an accident, but his hoodie rode up a little bit. You saw a little bit of black skin right away, like that's our truth. And you saw Money Colin's reaction right away. Colin's like, it's not our truth, fire. That's our truth. And then you saw Colin's reaction. Here's my question: did we get worked, or did he actually get fired and we brought him back? Let me know in the comments below. I think he got by the bring back truth comments and everything we had to. Like I said from the beginning, made no goddamn sense why our truth got fired. Just like it kind of made no sense why Dakota Kai got fired, and kind of no sense why Corey J got fired or Gigi Dolan. Also, for those of you who didn't see Gigi Dolan, sorry, Priscilla Kelly, um, first match on the Indies with her boyfriend, husband, whatever you want to call him, fiance, Nick Carson Wentz from the Rascals. Accidentally kicks her in the knee, and apparently she has a thing where her kneecap dislocated. Her kneecap dislocated, match stopped. Everyone thought her knee's blown out again, but no, she's saying she's fine. Posted an Instagram video today, being able to move perfectly. She said it just hurts for a little bit, so good to hear that. Maybe you shouldn't be doing wrestling if your knees dislocate like that. Overall, I'd say the main event is good. Is going to get a goal to destroy perfectly, and we got the record of R-Truth, which everyone wanted. And then the next week on Raw, R-Truth cuts his hair, and he's now Ron Killings again. And honestly, I like this gimmick of him being kind of insane and Ron killing Friday the Booth and the boss and R-Truth being the passenger. He cut an absolute fire promo on Monday. And then we had title changes that kind of upset everybody on Monday. And you know what? For me personally, I think it had to be done. Gunther is now the WWE champion again. He beat main event Jey Uso, and I'm not saying Jey had a shitty run because he sure as fuck didn't. And Ricky Chickens held his horses. But if Gunther didn't win the belt then, what the hell were you going to do with Gunther? He was not going to SmackDown. He was not winning the WWE title he was not winning the heavyweight championship, I should say, sorry, from John Cena. He was not going back down to lower the Intercontinental. This is no disrespect to the Intercontinental title or Dominic Mysterio. He was not lowering himself to go back down after that belt. Him and Ludwig Kaiser were not chasing the tag team titles because what the hell happened to Ludwig Kaiser ever since the comments with Charlotte? He just randomly disappeared from TV and did a few promos, but other than that, nothing. It's almost like he's been AEW. Hook me! Um, as you can see why I've not done the show in a while, WWE's been kind of hit or miss and very confusing at points, but The people out there are crying, Jay got screwed and Jay didn't get along enough title run, Jay this, Jay that. What were you going to do with Gunther if he lost the WWE title match again? Jay could take in the loss and still have the momentum. If Gunther loses, what do you do? See, even Todd agrees with me. What do you do with Gunther if he loses? You can't put him in one of the lower card feuds. You can't have him in the WWE title picture again for a while. Because what then? What then? What if he loses at the end? Right, Tony? Sorry guys, I'm just looking. It just you guys have to settle your horses, calm down. And I know we're getting Gunther versus Goldberg at Saturday night's main event in 2 weeks. Cody, if he's not also happy about that, if you guys saw the video I put out late earlier today, why the fuck are we getting Gunther versus Goldberg? Nobody wants that. Not one single soul wants that. Um, I'm gonna give Raw for the last couple of weeks. I'm not gonna talk much about it because it's been too much to remember, too much to recall, but both great shows, especially today. Unfortunate news, Liv Morgan dislocated her arm in the match with Kairi Sane. I don't know if that was a work or a shoot. I think part of it might be fake, because they might want to figure out a way to slide Roxanne to get those tag team titles in the fan with um, Raquel. But I also think that Liv was legit injured, because if you look at the replay of that match and the way she landed, her shoulder definitely pops out. And you can tell she. Hey! 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 Toddy! You can tell you can tell in a little bit of pain. Toddy! You can tell she's in a little bit of pain. Toddy, stop! Sorry guys. Um 10 dogs around. But at the same point she might be selling for the story and it's so good at everything she does. I don't know what they did mention it on the program. Like Toddy, unlike with Zoe Stark, where they didn't really mention anything, so that was a legit injury. It just maybe they don't give as much. Well, no, not maybe they don't give as much of a fuck about Liv. Sorry, the Liv. Um. Also, I don't know if you guys have been watching AEW. Just my little rant here on AEW. People like Megan Bain to be stopped as 3 matches in a row where she hurt somebody. She broke Penelope. She broke Feel Wrath. What the fuck is her name? The bunny, not the bunny. The Australian chick. Can't think of her name now. Danny Ellis. Danny XO, that's her name. I know her real name. I just can't think of her name in AEW, but she broke her nose. Looked like she hurt Anna Jay in the first match. And then Anna Jay and Ty Conti get a tag team match with her and Penelope Ford. And she has this nasty spot where you can see Ty Conti lands right on her shoulder and does not look comfortable. And then she pretty much face plants Anna Jay right after the match. And I don't think Nikki Bates is as people think they are. And also this Tekla chick is just ripped up Bray Wyatt's gimmick with the spider. Um, and also Will Ospreay took a gnarly injury in the match with Swerve. Absolutely brilliant match. One of my matches contenders. For people that don't like that match, go fuck yourselves. Um, I'm not the biggest AEW supporter. You guys know that. These 4-hour shows they've been putting on are kind of retarded. I'm not gonna lie to you. Anyone who likes wrestling will admit to you is kind of stupid. But on that note, you guys, I'm going to be taking off because I've gone too far and I've ranted too long and talked too much about everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks. That I gotta kind of stop for a minute here and we'll get